What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family? Much love to all of you guys out there. Huge hugs to those who are walking in the way of the creator of the universe. Those who have achieved an understanding that religion has led us astray and the Torah walk is not a religion, but is a way of life. It is a way that benefits all of us. It gives us health. It gives our families health. It gives us spiritual health. It gives us all of these great things. Wonderful, amazing things. Things that I wish I would have known about much earlier in my life. Things that led to dire consequences of things that I allowed myself to do and situations that I allowed myself to be enveloped into. And so had I had a Torah upbringing in my life, if my mother had have had a value upon the Torah, there's a very good chance that my life would have led to a completely different outcome. That being said, all roads lead to the path that our Creator has allowed for us to happen. I believe that our Creator knows everything is going to happen from here to the end of time. And with a power such as that, he's able to let things play out. And he's also able to intervene into things and to change the direction, to throw people a lifeline, to throw them the gift of life. And when we find the Torah, it becomes something that we embrace, we love, and we do not cross. And we do not take for granted what we have been given, because we have been given the Torah and we've also been given a Messiah. We've been given an individual who is very much qualified to be the leader of the real new world. The new world that the people of the kingdom of Elohim will be a part of. Guys, I've been around technology before there was an internet. I lived in a world of what they call bulletin board systems. Even before that, I was around there. I've been a geek. I've been a nerd. I've been involved in IT since I was a mere child. And I've never looked another way. And I've gained more certifications by all these different places. I've been Novell certified, Microsoft certified, Cisco certified, Linux certified, you name it. I've had a certification in that. I've been through the training. I worked at Google for 4 years. You don't work at Google unless you are able to be at the very tippy top of the echelon of the sharks, because it is a very high-paced environment for people that are different. The Google people are cut a lot different. And so when you hear me speaking of technology, it is a thing that I am very much qualified to talk about. And we are in what you would call the crescendoing moments of where technology is about to be something that is introduced into our lives far more than anything we've ever had. And in the early days, technology was slower. It's always been quick, but it's been at a pace of progression that throughout the years and decades and time that it has been proceeding, it has evolved to the point where when we are dealing with what they call AI, and what AI is for the end user essentially is an enormous set of information that has been verified in many different ways. And so you're looking at literally all of the world's possible understanding and knowing inside one simple query. And you can now have the kind of access to this data in your own home. You can download these large language models and you can run them from your house, and you don't even need an internet anymore. And you have something far more powerful than Wikipedia. You have the entire world's knowledge. You would know how to make any kind of food, any kind of temperatures at what you need to cook, and this and that. And you would have a system that sits there and thinks. It literally thinks. They have coded the software so intelligently that what they have given software is a big brain. All of these large language models of this AI is essentially the brain power. It's the neural network of something that thinks. And then what they do is they write software code for the front of it. And I've been telling people for a very, very long time, humans are now becoming the endangered species. When it comes to, excuse me, when it comes to the plans of the New World Order, we've always been told that we're bugs. We are less than humans, that we are expendable, that we're a virus, right? You know, when you see the movie The Matrix and it has that creepy Agent Anderson, and he says, the humans are the virus and the plague. And that is what the global elite, the powers that be, the controllers of the world, whatever organization you want to call them, there's a zillion of them. And it doesn't matter what organization it is, at the end of the day, their daddy is Satan. They all worship the same devil, the same one that we know of as the adversary of our Creator. The greatest rebel of all times is Satan. And so these guys love the greatest rebel of all time. They think he's worthy of praise. And so they praise their Baphomet, their goat gods, and they throw out their all-seeing eye symbolism everywhere. It's on the back of the dollar bill. All the Satanist celebrities are always covering their one eye or throwing up the 666 like Donald Trump does, which is basically the AOK sign is what it is, but the Satanists have run off of that, and they've made that their 666. And so we live in an occultic world where all of the powers that be have been waiting for this technology that is now before us to essentially rewrite what the world is. And what's getting very, very scary are the robots that now they are infusing these large language models into. And you have these fully autonomous robots that work in a house that are more capable than a maid in a house, more capable than a human being. And they're built with all of these enormous brains built in. They don't need an internet connection. You can converse with a robot as intelligently as you can converse with a human being. This is the end of the age, right? This is where knowledge has been so greatly put together that they have built a system where they believe that they will basically have a robot system and most of humanity will be wiped off of the map. So when you look at, and these are all open plans for anybody that doesn't know that, I'm not just spouting this stuff out. This is all, you guys can look at Agenda 21, Agenda 2020. You can look at all of the nefarious things that they've been doing for years, for decades. And the part that has me very concerned is not simply what you call AI and the basically having all of the world's knowledge in the palm of your hand, which is a very, very dangerous thing. As human beings, we shouldn't know these things. We shouldn't have all of the answering and all the reasoning. And, it takes a lot of the humanity out of the reasons of being human, right? All of the experiences and all the things we can have, you can just call upon a giant computer database to produce very smart answers. And so as they're putting these things into the robots and as they're achieving their dreams, we're seeing evil at the highest peak of evil, taking over country after country after world. All this Ukraine, all of this Russia, all of this, it's all a hoax, guys. All this stuff with Zelensky and sitting with Trump, it is laughable, right? These guys are all on the same side. They've always been on the same side. Ukraine is simply a place where they've been sucking mass amounts of American money out, embezzling the American people, and having really no accountability for it. There's really not much of a war going on, is my understanding of what really is going on over there. So it's always been a pony and horse show where it's really not what they're displaying, the old magic tricks. And so I say all of this because I want to always bring things back up to Bible prophecy and where we are at in Bible prophecy, and more reasons why the Torah walk should be more and more important to all of us, because we're seeing Bible prophecy played out. We're seeing, I believe, that really chapters of Revelations rolling out right before our eyes. And so as we are rolling this stuff out right before our eyes, we have to be ready. We have to be prepared. And so I was actually going to go in the book of the Nazarene, but I think I'm just going to go into some stuff in Revelations. I think we should read and discuss this and tap into this particular piece of it while I'm on this, because being ready is very, very, very important for all of us. We need to get our lives in line. We need to get our world in line. A lot of us put this stuff off. A lot of us will put this off. And, we're not sick. Everything's going good. We don't know when we're going to die. But as you see the evil that is going right before our eyes, it's one of these things that it's good. It's good news. It's something that we're moving for us that are looking for the kingdom. It's promising times once we make it through the bitter tribulation side. And a lot of this, many of us probably won't make it through. Many of us will, depending on what's going to happen. If what I think is happening right now, there's like about 40 months of like amazing stuff that's going to happen before things get really weird, really wacky. I might be completely off, but it is what it is. And so let's get into this little reading today. Right before this, guys, this is a still limited edition Yah Scriptures. We're so close to getting this other paperback rolling. We're about to get a preview of the actual book. They're going to be sending it without the actual words in it, but the actual mock-up of exactly the size with our new cover that we have on it. And so it is going forward. For those who do not know, Yah Scriptures is a prison ministry. It's just literally what we have become, is a prison ministry, and it is our objective is to shine the light of the scriptures of our Creator and get these scriptures in the hands of the prisoners throughout the U.S. prison population. And there's a huge need for scriptures. There's a huge need for a printing press that we're able to print these scriptures off for free. And because Yah Scriptures we don't have any employees, we don't have anything. What we have is we have a warehouse in Kentucky, and it is a paid warehouse of people of the U.S. that they house all of our scriptures, and they ship them off, and they've done a tremendous job on it. Just like everything, it costs stuff. But the other distribution people, like the Hallelujah Scriptures, they've been cutting the throats of Yah's people for decades. It is insane. Not decades, 13 years. But it is insane how they will use and abuse the people of Yah to ship the scriptures, and they never ship to the prisoners. The last people they ever ship to are the prisoners. And so they use and abuse these little families, get them hooked up and oriented in this stuff. And really, all they would have to do is just go find a distributor in the U.S. and do the same thing they're doing, and instead of scamming the people, which is what Hallelujah Scriptures does, they could completely do this legitimate, and they won't, because she's like a demon. This is the lady, Deb, Dirty Deb. They call her Shalom. She calls herself Shalom. I believe she has demons where she physically wants to attack the people of our Creator and make them so miserable that they just want to give up. Okay, let us get into this, and I'm not going to go into this, but let's go into this is a Yah Scriptures app for anybody that doesn't know. This is free of charge. You guys can get it at yahscriptures.com. Go under the download, and it is there. So one thing I want to talk about here is, we have seen stuff in the media that if you didn't realize it was a hoax, or you weren't fully awake and you were sucked into the television programming, newscasting, right? Newscasting. We're dealing with wizards and warlocks. We're dealing with all these people that are casting spells using words, right? They're using the alphabet, and they are making word spells by the way they operate and the way they say it. So let's read into Revelation 13, and let's talk a little bit about some of the hoaxes that we've seen. And I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast coming up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads names of blasphemy. So, we don't have to be like scholars to understand a lot of this. There's a bunch of leaders, and the people that are the heads or kings, whatever it is, they're a bunch of blasphemy-ridden people that are coming up to, and these are the people that lead the people. And this is the thing, is just like the United States is one of the most evil countries in the entire world based upon the actions of the decades they've been in existence, from their existence. It's not the American people that are doing it. It's the corporation. The American people most of you guys don't even realize that you're in a corporation. That's why you have social security numbers with your name all on the back of your card in uppercase, right? Because you are a bank account. That's your shadow, basically, name. Your social security numbers all provide you with a bank. You can look on the back of your social security cards. There's your actual bank name, where it's at on there. But I always get in the weeds, guys. It is one of these things that, the American people aren't the evil ones. It's the leaders, these things that have been supposedly selected, right? Everyone's under the illusion of election, but it's 100% a selection. It is and always has been. And, voting, free men don't need to vote. What are you voting for? A leader like this? Remember when the people of Yisrael voted for Saul, and everybody's like, oh, we want a king. And they're like, well, you're going to get taxed by this guy. He's going to take all your wives. He's going to take his cooks and take all your dudes as soldiers. And they're like, yes, give us that king. So they got their king, right? And everything went downhill after that. Three or four generations later, it was completely gone. It was over. And this is what it was. So the leaders are all really, really bad. 2, and the beast I saw was like a leopard, and his feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him power and his throne and great authority. So lots of stuff to always look into this, right? I mean, we've heard this a gazillion times, right? A beast was like a leopard. Okay, so we have this big spotted leopard, but his feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. So, I mean, these are all crazy things. People have drawn these out for centuries and decades. I might give this up to some artificial intelligence drawing and have them draw the thumbnail for this, right? And I know there's you guys out there that are like adamantly, we shouldn't use AI and any of this stuff. You can't not use it. If you do a simple Google search, it has it run through Gemini 3 right now. Look at the very top of every one of the searches. It doesn't matter what you do. They have incorporated AI into everything, guys. And all that simply means is that whatever is called AI is using a certain set of data that has been programmed to know a certain set of things. Some AI models have bigger knowledge base. They've spent more money, more training, more understanding to these things. And some are very small. Some are real smart. Some are not so smart. So it is what it is. But the humans must start adapting to the future that is coming. And it's one of these things that we can't adapt to the future that's coming unless we are based up in Torah. Unless we have the protection and the shield and the understanding of the Torah in our lives surrounding us, all around us at all times, we're not going to be ready for this crazy Terminator-style world that is coming very, very soon. Continuing on, 3. And I saw one of his heads as having been slain to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the earth marveled after the beast. Okay, so let's talk about this. So we're looking for a person who is the beast, right? So you have several different beasts here, right? But this particular beast, on one of his heads, right? So we're talking about a beast that has a whole bunch of different heads. This is like a power structure, a power system, right? Something that is authority. And when you look at the world, say from 2019 and on, you can very much see that the entire world had one agenda, and that agenda is stuff we still can't even say, right? We can't say open and freely anymore because they have the AI that sits there and listens and tries to figure out what you're saying as it takes all of this to text and figures it out. Are you a danger or are you not? Right? We literally live in the world of 1984 as we speak. But this beast, right, his head, having been slain to death and his deadly wound was healed. All these years throughout Christianity, when you hear this, when you're trying to figure this out, you're envisioning a dude that gets mowed down with a gun, right? And raises back up. And it's just, you're like, wow, that dude just was able to take a shot and get back up. Always wondered how that would be pulled off. So we have an incident that happened. And in fact, you had all of these so-called shootings that happened during this individual's run for presidency that everybody that with their little red mega hats on thought he was under attack. Like this was an attack on the Constitution. People saying that, Trump almost died for the sins of America. Israel has him as a savior. This is a very interesting character in our current world situation and the times that we are in. And based upon his actions of his first presidency on things that I can't even still say here, we know that he isn't what he says he is. And so if you're putting your hope into a man, you need to put your hope into our Messiah. You need to put your hope into his dad, into the Torah. How do we put our hope into any of this? Well, we read the Torah, we understand the Torah, and we write it on our heart, mind, and soul, and we love it. It's just like we love our Creator. And we show him that love by our loyalty to keeping this Torah. And when we don't keep the Torah, when we fall into something that would get us rejected from the kingdom, we're crushed. We are burned. We have this thing that's called a conscience, a guilty conscience, call it whatever. But it's that thing inside that tells us, hey, we're living contrary to what Dad wants us to live. We are living differently than the one that loves us so much that gave us his life. We need to deal with this. So now, in 3, we have this guy that having been slain to death, and his deadly wound was healed, right? So nobody actually saw this thing, but you saw the Mr. Trumper go behind his little podium, and when he came out, he had what they call moulage. It's the same stuff that the Army has. They have a department that's called moulage. They go and they put it on. And for those who do not know, an ear wound is a very, very bad wound. To this day, you would see some sort of trauma on this guy's ear. So the fact that you see something and the deadly wound was healed, and what did the world do? Everyone was like, wow, this dude took a shot for the United States of America. This is amazing. Listen to this guy. Wow. So here you are. Earth marveled after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon who gave authority to the beast. Okay? We have a dragon and a beast, right? Who is everybody on the dark side worshiping? The man of sin, right? The lawless rebel, the devil himself, right? And so you have all these people that are openly worshiping the devil. They've been worshiping the devil for years and years and years. Most people are in the clouds. They have no idea this even exists outside of their naive little worlds. But the devil is a very, very popular person. He empowers the people that worship him in these lands and builds them up and makes them strong and gives them money and makes their lives well in comparison to living this life, right? But that's all at the expense of something very, very, very important. That one thing that you always hear that these musicians are selling, the guy that made it to the crossroads back in the early 1900s and sold his soul to the devil. And another dude about that same time did the same thing. And when they sold their soul to the devil, that music just started doing stuff they could never do before. Same for the Bob Dylan. He sold his soul to the dark commander. The commander, he says, on this world or the world to come. They've all done it. Eminem, Tupac, Dr. Dre, all of these people have made that contract in blood, and they've signed away their soul, and the devil has propped them up in this world. So when all these people, worshiping the dragon, that's been happening for years. It's just getting more and more open. And then who gave authority to the beast? Well, the devil. The devil gave all of these guys the power they're being able to do it. You have Donald Trump. You have Elon Musk. This dude walks around like a witch, like a warlock in his black outfit, right? If there's some dude that looks like some sort of a ghostly dude, it's Elon Musk when he walks around in his black outfit. Now, we that alone doesn't say, hey, this guy's a Satanist. But in his original tweet right after Donald the man got elected, he said New World Order. In his Halloween outfit, he is dressed up as the Baphomet, the transgender hermaphrodite man, woman, goat god that these guys worship. These guys are fascinated with them. I mean, this is what they're looking for. Look, if some dude comes down and loses one single eye, you're gonna know this guy's part of the system, because they've been shouting out their dark shepherd with the one eye for a very, very, very long time. All right, let's continue on. How far in the weeds are we? Oh boy, we in the weeds. Okay. And they worship the dragon who gave authority to the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like the beast? Who is like Donald J. Trump and Elon Musk? Who is able to fight with him, right? You have all of this hoax of this Ukraine guy and this pretend, they get in front of this thing and pretend to fight like old chums, put on an act, and everyone's like, oh, Zelensky got owned. Guys, I will tell you, and I've told everybody from the very beginning, the Donald is going to come in and make all of this good. He's going to take away the fake war in Ukraine. He's going to make it, and this guy's going to be the great negotiator, right? The great business deal. Nobody but the Donald. Who is like this guy, right? Who's able to fight it with him? And he was given a mouth speaking greatness and blasphemies. And he was given authority to do so 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemies against Yahuwah, to blaspheme his name in his tent and those dwelling in the Shamaim. Now, guys, you're dealing with a guy he's not even a proclaimed Christian. He's in a totally different religion, and look at the things he has done over his lifetime. All of the corruption, the beauty pageants, the groping of the women, the felonies, the escort service that he had. There's all of it. It's called Trump Escort Service, guys. It got switched to some other name, but it is out there. The stuff that he has done throughout the years, just in woman laundering alone, simply in selling and buying the flesh of women and not being able to control himself throughout these times, he has a huge reputation. There's like 60 or 70 different assault records throughout the years of women that are like, hey, he kissed me on the lips inappropriately, he grabbed me in a place I didn't want to be grabbed. There's all sorts of stuff, right? Who's like this guy? Who can do stuff like this, right? This guy can do no wrong. This guy can grope women. He can be the father of something, and he can do no wrong. He get reelected, and the people just cheer and cheer and cheer. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. They worship the dragon who is like the beast, who's able to fight with him. So if what I'm saying is possibly right, and I'm not saying I am, but I'm putting this out there so that you guys can possibly be alert to the world and the time that we are in. I don't see a great future for the world of the robots. The only good future that we have is most of this stuff when the robot world is, it'll break down, right? If you buy a $40,000 robot right now, it's going to take a while to perfect the things that are coming, but at the same time, there's people that have literally built an army of robots for China and sold them to China. So there are these things that are at least versatile enough to be in an army. So as we get into the end times and we see the crazy knowledge expanding beyond anything we can even possibly keep our hearts and minds on, And one of the things that I do is I am very deep into the AI news world. I watch this all the time, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, of individual people that are building things based upon the understanding of the AI neural network and the way it works, and building this on this concept. And so it's just a matter of time before most of the jobs that humans can do are going to be completely trashed. You're not going to have a shot at it. I mean, right now, with the AI, even in the infancy that it is in, it is a danger to the professional world of humans and what they can do. And the problem is that all of these corporations, they're going to implement all the cheap stuff. They're going to get rid of all the humans, and it's going to be down to where the humans are there to repair the robots, and that's basically what the future looks like for us. So there's no better time right now than to get into scriptures, get into the Torah, know where we are at in our timeline. And even if this isn't the very end of time, but it is a very fascinating, right? You've got to give me this, that it is a very fascinating time. And some of these things I'm putting together here are very concerning. They are things that, again, it points us to the beginning of the end. And this is what we are looking for, because we know that these demons and devils and warlocks and wizards and all these people, they're going to have a lot of power. They're going to have their day to reign. It's going to be a heyday for hellions, and people like us, we got to keep our chins down, hands up, prayer warriors in, families secured in Torah, living the very best life that we can live under the hands of the Torah. And that isn't our best life now, right? We're not sitting here hanging out with the world. We're observing the world. We're watching the world as it decides to serve Satan in all its ways. And we are those people who vehemently go against that kind of thinking and go against that kind taking second best, guys. If that's the world, right? The world is the second best. You're picking a created entity over the power of our Creator and the love of our Creator, the mercy of our Creator. His ways are good. His Torah is really, really good. And that's what we've been lied to for all our lives, that it's bad, it's bondage, we can't do it. Yeah, we can. And it's super easy. We just need to wrap it into our life and understand it and walk it, do the best we can. So guys, with that, much love to y'all. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Don't know when I will be back with y'all, but big hugs to y'all. I'm out.